I have little points that I try to hit sometimes. But, so these are my notes that I never look at. So we were taking pictures out there, and I thought, someone said something to me, and I said, I said something nasty about Trump, like, I don't usually do that. And then the woman said, but what about Hillary? And I thought, okay, what is the most meaningful thing about, what does she mean to me? And then I thought, I want to be in a foxhole with Hillary. Because she is tough, okay? I met her, first of all, I have to tell you something. I've been alive through 11 presidents.
We love you, Cher!
Okay, so I've been alive, counted them today in the bathtub, and I just kept going, Jesus. Right, you're killing me, girl. And, but I thought Bush was the scariest I would ever be. But I'm telling you, there's things that you know that make him the wrong person, and there are things that you do not know that make him the most frightening man to ever run for any office, okay? I was trying to think, this is what I think he did in the beginning, too. First of all, if he wins, we can thank the press. But yeah, the great press. What an asshole he is, right? So, that for so many other reasons than just that. But I think that when I think about him, there are so many things that he has said and so many things that he has done, and that somehow it worked in his favor, because when you say so many horrible things, people can't keep up with it. And my mom said many great things. My mom said to me a golden rule that I live by: if it doesn't matter in 5 years, it doesn't matter, which is really true. Girls with guys, it so works, all right? Guys with guys, it so works. So, and my mom also said, the bigger the lie, the better the chance you have of getting away with it. She also said, the more you tell a lie, the more it sounds like the truth, right? So, I looked up things, and I found some things so egregious. I don't know if you know this, a 92-year-old woman in Scotland, on the edge of his golf course. He wanted the property. And he cut her water line. And this 92-year-old woman went with a wheelbarrow every day to her stream to get water. That was 4 years ago, okay? He knew that sludge was coming into her house. There are things that he does. It's like you think he must have had a terrible childhood, and you feel bad for him for that. But he's a grown man, so fuck him. And I think that this is, his father was a member of the Ku Klux Klan. His father did not rent to minorities. He was sued for not renting to minorities. And he doesn't think Black Lives Matter. He doesn't think there should be a minimum wage. He doesn't. I have a friend, and who will remain nameless because I don't want to get the person into trouble, but they did a job for him. We just found this out the other day. My friend Paulette found this out. And there was a deposit of $50,000. The person did the job, and when it was over, he didn't pay the rest. And said, if you keep asking for the money, if you push me in any way, I will keep you in court forever, and I will ruin your reputation. And this just happened, and we know that this is how he plays it. I saw a video of a man. It was just terrible. I was crying. But the man's father had done a job for him at the Taj Mahal, and when it was over, he refused to pay the man. So then he said, your work was inferior, and then he said, but if you do more work for me, I will pay you. So he did more work for him, and he only paid him what he owed him for the last job. The man went into bankruptcy. He lost his business, and his son, who was like 55, something like that, with huge tears in his eyes, said, my father, till the day he died, went to his factory and said, someday I will get it back. Someday I will be the person that I used to be. And he never did it. So these are things that are real things that someone who's had everything his whole life, who has no sympathy, no empathy, no humanity.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So, there is nothing good that I can say about him. Also, I hesitated to say this because I'm usually not afraid of anything. Well, I'm probably afraid of things, but I don't care. So, I got into so much trouble, never expecting to be terrified. I was doing research like I do, and I came upon the alt-right, and I came upon Steve Bannon and the alt-right. So I wrote about it on my Twitter feed, and they blocked me for 4 days. I could not get on it. They sent me death threats. Them putting me, they have this little frog, Peppy. Check him out. And they had, yeah, but don't laugh. They had him putting me into the ovens, turning on the oven. They had him putting me in the gas chamber, turning on the gas chamber. They had him blowing my brains out. These people are serious. These people work with him, okay? So this is more than we realize. There is something more than we realize, and there's nothing, we can only do in this room what we can do. But I only wish that people in America could realize what kind of a person he is. What kind of, yes, but worse than that. And probably not very good. But, he makes you a little levity. But it's, I was reading up, actually, reading up on his sons and that hunting expedition. Yeah, and somehow they turned it into, they were doing a service because they gave the meat to these villagers. And that they, while they were there, they gave them some shoes. And they said there were too many of these animals. Elephants and leopards, there are not too many of them, okay? So the apple keeps falling closer and closer to the tree. And these are people that are going to have high positions. His son-in-law, his two Tweedledum and Tweedlefucking sons. So I just, it's like, you know, we talk about this, I'm just getting hot. Also, I am not a particular fan of John McCain, but he is a war hero, all right? He got his arms broken in 2 places. He is a war hero. Lieutenant Khan, Captain Khan? Captain Khan is a war hero. And he's more than a war hero. He is a war hero that knew that he was going to give his life for his Trump her since she ran for the Senate. And I was invited to do these teas. I think I told you guys this before, but just listen anyway. So I was invited to do these teas. And I thought, I'm not a tea girl, but I'll do it. So I went to the tea, and there were a bunch of ladies, more tea ladies, but so she gave a great speech, and I thought, well, you know, I'm surprised at this, but afterwards we had to go to this little room while they cleaned up the tables and then prepared for the next teas. So we were kind of forced to be together, and then we started talking to each other, and the more that we talked, and tea after tea, with nothing in it but tea, the more we talked, the more I really liked her, and the more puzzled I was, and finally I said, look, you know, I don't know what's going on here, because you're so much fun, and you have such a good sense of humor, and you seem so warm. What's the deal? And she told me about when she tried to get national health care for everyone, and she said that when the Republicans attacked her so viciously, personally, it made her kind of go in, you know, like you do. You don't, and she said, I don't want to wear my heart on my sleeve. And this was a long time ago. She said, I just want to do the job. I want to do the job. I want to go to work every day. I want to do the job, but I'm not going to just let them jump all over me. And as it turned out, they got along so well. She worked so well across the aisle. And she said a really funny thing, and I've only told her a couple of times, but I don't think she'd be upset. But she said something, and I thought, my God, what a naive, kind of refreshing. This is so refreshing. And she said, do you know a spa? And I went, babe. I'm the spa queen, are you kidding? a strange thing. I would have thought she would know this kind of thing. And she said, I'm so tired. When this is over, I want to go to a spa. So I gave her the best one that I knew. So but it gave me a feeling about her, a person that I didn't know, a person that I didn't expect. Okay, fade out, fade in. I'm supposed to introduce her at the Greek. And so I'm standing backstage, and the curtains are closed, and I'm hanging with Christina Aguilera's band, and we're talking. And then the drapes open, you know, the big curtains open. I should know this, I've been doing it 52 years, but whatever, those things opened. And she comes walking through, and I went, I don't want to go on after you. What happened? I was supposed to introduce you. And she said, don't worry about it. She gave me a big hug and she said, don't worry about it, my little Oscar winner. And then I grabbed her around, there's pictures on my side. I grabbed her around the shoulders and I went, thank you, my president. And then I went, thank you, my president. I must be the first person to have said that. And then I said, I'm the first person. And we hugged each other and we giggled and laughed. It was so gay. It was so great. And if you see the pictures of her laughing, you see that she is not the villain that they have made her out to be. I think they must have known from the beginning that someday in 30 years she was going to run, right? Because they've been terrified of her ever since. I'm telling you, you know, I don't back every play, but I believe in her, I trust her, and I think she is the only person right now. Like President Obama says, she is the person, the woman for the job right now.